Thank you all for joining us for the SICSS-Africa and African Descendants Inaugural Panel, Interrogating Data Collection Methods Focused on African and African Descendants, Challenges and Opportunities. This panel represents our first foray into planning across 4 SICSS sites: SICSS-West Central Africa and Cameroon, SICSS-Covenant in Nigeria, SICSS-JIAS IPATC in South Africa, and SICSS-Howard Mathematica in the United States. It is my pleasure to introduce my student, colleague, and friend, Susanna Ejong, who will introduce this groundbreaking multi-site SICSS panel. First, her bio. Susanna Ejong is a global development, humanitarian, and peace and security consultant with over 15 years of experience in multilateral civil society and government organizations on 3 continents. She is co-founder of Collateral Benefits, a storytelling platform that documents perspectives from Africans and Afro-descendants about transcending COVID-19, a founding member of African diaspora platforms such as Afro-Innova, Colombia, and Africa 2.0, Spain, and a member of the advisory board of the Collective for the Renewal of Africa, Senegal. From Equatorial Guinea and Spain, Susanna studied at the Complutense University in Madrid, the School of Oriental and African Studies in London, is a 2014 Yale World Fellow and a 2022 Harvard MPA Mason Fellow. It is my honor to introduce Susanna.
Thank you so much, Nanette. It's so amazing to be here today with you and everyone around the room to talk about this important issue. The title of this panel is Interrogating Data Collection Methods Focused on African and Afro-Descendants, Challenges and Opportunities. And it's so relevant today. We all want to find solutions to the problems of today and the problems of the future. And for that, data must be reliable and of high quality. The reality is that there are a lot of problems with data. The data validity of problems pose significant bottlenecks for creating the right theoretical insights into the complex issues that are peculiar to the people of Africa and the people of the African diaspora. Previous attempts at circumventing data challenges in Africa have relied on surveys, estimates, or models that often do not reflect the reality of many African countries and communities. In order to have a robust discussion, we have to ask ourselves difficult questions. Questions such as, what challenges exist in the collection of precise data? How do these challenges affect how poverty indices and reports are generated? What can stakeholders do to improve data quality? What unique tools are available to collect more precise data that includes the perspectives of the communities studied? This panel will discuss these key challenges in the collection of precise data, as well as how these challenges influence how African and people of the African diaspora are studied and economic indices are generated. The panelists will draw from the unique expertise and experiences working with different forms of data to critically reflect and challenge current data collection methods while highlighting innovations and new strategies to collect data about people of African and African descent. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us for our Africa and African Descent panel discussion with Professor Evans Osabuohien. My name is Emmanuel Olamijuwon, and I am one of the organizers from SICSS-Covenant site in Nigeria, and I'm a cherished research fellow at the University of Southampton in the United Kingdom. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Professor Osabuohien. I will close with a few resources for you to get to know the 4 SICSS sites that organized this groundbreaking event. My site, SICSS-Covenant in Nigeria, SICSS-West Africa and Central Africa in Cameroon, SICSS-JIAS and JIAS IPATC in South Africa, and SICSS-Howard Mathematica in the United States. Evans Osabuohien, our speaker today, is a professor of economics and the head of Department of Economics and Development Studies at Covenant University in Nigeria. He's a fellow of the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation and Swedish Institute. He coordinates the Research Linkage Programme between Witten Herdecke University in Germany and Covenant University in Nigeria with funding from Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. His primary research interest centers around development, institutional economics, and agricultural land economics. Welcome, Professor Osabuohien. The floor is yours.
Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us all over the world, depending on your time zone. My name is Evans Osabuohien, as I've been introduced by my wonderful moderator, Emmanuel. I'm currently at Commerce University as a professor of economics and also the head of the Department of Economics and Evaluation Studies in Kwa University, Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria. I'm very much delighted to be part of this panel session. It has to do with how we can improve the research capacity or data from Africa. Like I was said, nobody can love Africa more than Africans. In other words, Africans are the best to tell African stories. So with that, we'll be taking us through this short talk in free food. So the focus of our talk today is interrogating data collection methods focused on Africans and African descent. What are the challenges, common challenges that we face, and what are the opportunities? In other words, how can we address these challenges? As somebody said, challenges are there to harness. Every challenge, there are opportunities therein. So how can we tackle these challenges by focus on the opportunities? So these are the focus of my talk today. And I will run with these short questions, asking myself, asking everyone who is also interested in doing research in Africa. What are the core challenges that exist in the data collection? In other words, how do we get precise data that will do with issues, whether it be it poverty, be it food security, be it economic growth, whatever we are looking at, is how do we what are the challenges that we are faced with when we are dealing with data particularly in African context? So there are a number of them, but I will highlight a few of them that we can take home with. One is the issue of capacity challenge. There's a heavy capacity gap in African countries of research. What I mean by capacity is the know-how, the technicalities. Okay, of course, data requires a number of things, requires time, requires resources, requires a number of things are required. But how do we handle and tackle this? So the issue of capacity challenge issue is a very crucial issue in Africa. And that is why workshops, summer schools that we're having in SICSS-Covenant for this year and across African countries, this is one way to leverage and tackle this kind of a capacity challenge. There's a number of African scholars who required capacity knowledge, the technicality, the know-how in research. So one point is the issue of capacity issue. The other point, which is quite common, is the issue of resource constraint. When resource could be funding resource and other constraints. Of course, your data you have depends on the resource available. So, when economics talk about degree of freedom, if you need to get data in covering the kind of, let's say you want to do data in the community, maybe regarding the issue of part of COVID-19, for example, how much you can go in terms of the coverage of the respondents, determining about on the resource available. So resource constraint is crucial, as a crucial challenge in collecting data in Africa. Another one is of infrastructure challenges. Okay, of course now people do online surveys. Of course, we require infrastructure. Take whether it's the hard infrastructure or the soft infrastructure. Issue of internet availability, issue of having requisite devices to use. So that is part of the infrastructure challenge we also face. Also, the issue of data storage is also part of infrastructure challenge we face with internal data. For example, I happen to have African researchers who are working on the issue of translating African languages. And the guy has to locate in Germany instead of in Africa because of the issue of infrastructure weakness. So this is a crucial one. Next point is the issue of, let me say, logistic support. Okay, at times you want get data when have to do with administrative data, maybe from government quarters or from local government quarters, you require such support because that data is already available. How do I access it? So in most cases, you write letters, you write formal letter, pass all the administrative bottlenecks, but at the end of the day, you may not get the data you want. So that is another challenge, which is limited logistics support. Then others, which is not too common, issue of a time factor. Time factor to do with how much time do you have to get the data. So you see a person come around there 1 day, 2 days, with data, and as I said, that may not be enough to access data. How to do community? So these are in summary, these are the 5 challenges I've brought out here. Issue of capacity issue, resource constraint, infrastructure challenge, and logistics, lack of logistics support, and of time factor. Now I will take us to the next slide, which is having known these challenges. Now, how do we? How does these challenges? How do these challenges affect the quality of our data in terms of reporting, whether it's poverty data, whether it's demographics data? How do they affect it? And I also that your research analysis or research findings is as good as your data. So if your data has a challenge, of course, it will affect the quality of analysis, it will also affect the report you have. So there's risk of generating diseases that do not reflect the local realities. So you may have, if you have data that's not that is not representative enough, so the reports you have may not reflect the true context of that locality. So another one is you have a risk of misinforming national responses or policy response. So if your data is not valid, so to say, the responses, the policy prescription or the policy recommendation may be faulty, maybe so the policy may be built on faulty foundation, and that will also have that. And then that will also have the validity of the data, how valid your data will be, and then how reliable, what is the reliability of data? If your data is not, if the process is not well, data collection process is not well done to affect the reliability of data, and then much more so, it will have a way of affecting the what I call reproducibility or transferability. So to the extent to which we can, another researcher can reproduce that data or transfer that data to maybe another context and see, may be limited if the data is not. So in summary, these are the effects of data challenge. One is a risk of having a data that does not reflect local context. Now is the issue of having the policies that are built on faulty foundation, and then the issue of validity of the data will be affected. The issue of validity of the data will be affected, and the issue of reproducibility or transferability of data will be affected. So having said, I'll take us to the next point. Now, having known all these challenges and the effect of the challenges, how do we tackle, how do we address these challenges? You know, how do we work together to see that we have a more robust data analysis? One of the ways is to enhance capacity building. So the more training we do, by the number of people are doing that, even the SICSS we're having now is part of that way, either through workshop, either through talk shows, all of that. Now you can do it online, you can do it real time. So whatever we are doing to enhance researchers' capacity to do research or to collect data, it will be a key way of addressing challenges. Another one is of having more funding, whether from the government quarters or from the private sector or international agency. So funding is required, more funding is required to have more data and more reliable data accessed in Africa. And this another point is of more collaboration from all our quarters. For government agencies, they should understand that when researchers approach government agency and a government agency for data collection, such data is for research, for future, for the benefit of humanity. So such data should be made available. So collaboration from researchers working together with the private sector, working together with the government agencies are crucial. And then researchers also need more transparency, because the community persons who are having as respondents will be more willing to assist with information if they know that such a process is transparent. So to summarize this idea, to address it, we need this 4-point automation, capacity building, more funding and support, more collaboration, and more transparency of the process, so that everyone can be assured that the process is for the benefit of society. Now, taking us further, look at now what are the unique ways of collecting more precise data. Here we have a different perspective here because, like I said, that one cap does not fit all. So thanks to the digital world as emerging, so they have a number of online data sources that can be combined with data with digital sources. For people now do data from have data from Facebook, which reflects real time, Twitter, and online sources. These are known ways of providing more precise data or estimates. For example, research done last year by Ropanso and the co-authors showed that Facebook advertisement data combined with labor force surveys provides give a more valuable insight beyond what could have been observed. Can get a more robust data. And then where I try to work towards the conclusion of this short presentation. So online surveys are also increasingly used to collect rapid data. Of course, we saw that during the time of COVID-19, we saw a number of online surveys through mobile app, through internet survey. All of that was one emerging way that data collection has become much more robust. So although internet penetration is low, but increasing in developing countries, more recent studies have shown that for third-party reporting, there's need for more insight from Africa. Okay, though the issue of limited data availability. So when we have this kind of a platform, we are able to have a more robust data. So the combining of online surveys and mixing with other survey processes will be one way to ensure that we have a unique and precise data for analysis that will reflect the local context of the communities. So once again, as I work towards the conclusion of this talk, a number of others have been done in other countries like Malawi, that do the issue of HIV and other countries. So in summary, all our survey combining different tools, high work improve what we call a FAIR. FAIR here simply means findability of data, accessibility of data, then interoperability of data, and reuse, which I have said earlier, transferability or reproducibility of data from online sources. So once again, I want to say thank you for your attention. Merci, obrigado, Imela. My details are here. You can reach out to me afterwards. Thank you for joining us today. Remain ever blessed. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us, Professor Osabuohien. I know our participants are looking forward to a live question and answer with you during the Institute in June. Thank you for joining us. For more information on the work of 6 sites expressly serving Africans and African descent, check out each of our website and resources.